Hello guys, this is Christine again, and today I'm going to do part 2 of how to draw the cycle Hessian chair configuration part 2. So this is in order to make you guys easily to visualize how does it look like and make kind of like a model of how a chair configuration look like. So if we look straight, this is our cycle Hessian with their 6 edge. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 edge. So the chair configuration is the most stable stage. When we have a chair configuration, it will look like this. It look like a chair. So one side will be up, one side will be down. So this is a chair configuration. It is a more stable stage because the two edge is the farthest apart from each other. So it's the most stable stage. And when this go up to here, this is a little bit less stable. And when it go up to here, this is the bolt configuration. So when we have this go up to here, this is a bolt configuration. This is not really stable. So in order to make it a little bit more stable, we have the twisted bolt. With this go to this side and this go to this side, a little bit like this, so it can avoid each other as much as it can. This is a little bit stable. And then we have this side go down, and another chair configuration will look like this. So it's had this go up and this go down. That's how the chair configuration look like. So today we will talk about how we should draw the cycle Hessian chair configuration part 2. So most of the problems they will give you cycle Hessian, and then they'll ask you to draw a chair configuration. So I think for some trick is that you should identify and number all the carbon, all the wedge will be the up axial line, and all the dash go to will be down. It can be axial or equatorial, but one should up equal wedge, down equal dash. And then we also draw. We have two chair configurations, so we should draw 2 of them. So when we draw 2 of them, the second one we move clockwise 1 unit. 1 unit here I mean is the number or is the carbon. And then we flip from axial to equatorial. If we switch from one chair configuration to another, we have to move clockwise 1 unit, and also we have to flip from axial to equatorial and equatorial to axial. So here's a some symbol for you guys to understand this better, because I know if I talk about it, it doesn't really make sense. So usually a problem will give you a cycle Hessian and ask you to draw their chair configuration. So first, as we said, that we need to identify and number the correct carbon. And the up go to wedge, down go to dash. So from here, I will draw the first chair configuration. Would look like this. This is my first chair configuration, and I number it. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And number 1 here will it is corresponding with this this carbon. So this will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So first I identify and number all the correct carbon, and second that I have. This is the wedge, so it should be up. So at the carbon number 1, I have a wedge, which means that I have an up. And I know that on my carbon number 1, I have an axial is the up one. So this most likely to be in axial position, because if this is wedge, it should be up. You cannot draw it as equatorial because our equatorial should be in a down position. But this is up. This is wedge. So we wanted it to be in up in an up line. That's why I draw it in the axial line. And third one we have at carbon number 3, I have a dash. Dash means that there's a down. So I have at number 3, I have an up axial position and also a down equatorial position. So this is dash, which means that it should be in down position. So if it's down, in here at carbon number 3, I can only put it as in the equatorial position because that's the only one that's pointing down. Because my A shore is pointing up, that's why I have to put it in the equatorial. So for equatorial, my equatorial is pointing this way. I use another color so we can see it better. So this is my equatorial. So this is how I convert from a cycle handstand to one chair configuration. So at this point, you just have to know you want to identify a number of the correct carbon, and then you convert from wedge is mean up, dash is mean down, and up down here it depends on which carbon, which has it can be an axial is up, or it can be down, or equatorial can be up or down. See, so you have to put in the correct axial or equatorial line. And this is how we convert from a cycle handstand to one chair configuration. Going from one chair configuration to another, we have, I withdraw the second chair configuration. So this is my second chair configuration. It doesn't look really that great. So the point is that I want to move clockwise 1 unit. And now I want to flip axial to equatorial. So I move 1 unit, which just means that my number 1 is usually here. If I look at it, maybe it can be here, usually it should be here. But now I move 1 unit clockwise. So now my number 1 is here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then, so when I move clockwise 1 unit, then I want to flip my from axial to equatorial. If I have a number 1 as axial, now at number 1, it should be equatorial. And it should be equatorial, so it should look like this. And then at number 3, I have this instead equatorial. Now I have it should be axial. So if I have it axial, I have it should look like this at this point. It should look like this. So this is to my 2 chair configuration. Remember the number here, it does they do change and they do switch and move 1 unit clockwise, but you still count that this is equator, the axial of this is to up, down, down. So that what I have equatorial axial here is the down position. Then move on to another example. This takes a lot of practice because this is a hard concept. So for this example, I will draw my first chair configuration. For my first chair configuration, again, I'll number it. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So at number 1, I have this is in dash position. In dash is mean that it should be down, pointing down at number 1. At number 1, I have my axial is up. So this is dash. Must go to equatorial, which is pointing down. So my equatorial is pointing down. It should go like this. This is my equatorial at number 1 because this is dash. It should go pointing down, not pointing up, because my axial is pointing up. So I cannot put it in axial. I have to put it in equatorial because dash down. And the second one is that I have at number 4, I have this is pointing up. So up, down, up, down. So this is pointing up. At this position, at carbon number 4, I have up, down, up, down, up, down. I have my axial line as pointing down. But I have, this is a wedge. It means that I need to put it in pointing up position. So pointing up position, I can only put it in equatorial. So I can only put it in equatorial, which means that I can only put it here. It's BR. And also we have number 6. And number 6 we have this is pointing, this is a wedge, just means that I need to put in a pointing up position. I have up, down, up, down, up, down. So my A-shore here is pointing down. But I want to put in a pointing up position, which means that again I need to put it in equatorial position of carbon number 6, which will look like this. And another question, oh yeah, and from here you need to convert it to the second chair configuration, which look like this. So I draw my second chair configuration first, and then I move 1 unit clockwise. So this will go to here. This is in equatorial position. Now I need to put it in A-shore position. Up, down. So it is gonna be in A-shore position, which is here. And then this will move 1 unit clockwise. It's gonna be right here. And this is in A equatorial position, so I need to put it in an A-shore position, which is right here. This is going to be in A-shore position. And I have this number 4 will move 1 unit, so you're going to move up to here. You kind of want to move 1 unit because you bench your chair configuration. So move 1 unit is going to be here, and this is in equatorial position. So now I need to put it in A-shore position. A-shore position, it will be pointing up. So again, you see that at this point, this is for A-shore line, up, down, up, down, up. So all their equatorial line switch to A-shore line. They all in A-shore line. And you notice one thing, that up is still keeping up. Down is still keeping down. So for chloride, it's keeping up. Is still up. Bromine should keeping up. This is still up. And we have ethyl should be pointing down, and this is still pointing down. So we have A-shore should switch to equatorial, but up can still be up, and down should still be down. And this is a really hard concept, so I would recommend you guys practice a lot. And that's it for today. I hope that is helpful. Thank you. And good luck with your organic chemistry.